If you are someone who struggles with their budget or struggles to know exactly where their money has gone by the end of each month, then maybe the zero-based budget is for you. In today's video, I'm going to be using the zero-based budget method, which helps me to stay in control of my money, stay on top of my finances, know where every single penny has gone. And I'm going to use my own real life numbers to plan out the month ahead, so you can see exactly where my money goes and how I use the zero-based budget method to get me to stay in control and have a really successful month. On top of that, we're going to look over last month as well and see where I spent my money. Now, for me, this last month has been a little bit different because I took some time off. It wasn't something that I made public on here because I'm always mindful that I don't want people to know that I'm away, because for obvious reasons. So we're going to go through that and see how my finances are different, where I spent my money, where I might have overspent or underspent, and how my going away has actually affected my budget. And then we're going to plan using my take-home money. So first up, I'm in the Ultimate Budget Planner. So this is the planner that I devised years ago when I was trying to get over £100,000 worth of debt left to me by my ex-husband. So I needed something that was going to help me take back a bit of control, help me to figure things out and come up with a plan, basically. I lived on pretty much nothing, but in order to do that, I needed to know exactly where every single penny was going to be going, because I needed to know, I had to have that control, I had to have that power, because everything else felt so much more out of my control. There was debt that was applied to me that wasn't really mine, and I had to have some sort of normality, some sort of regulation in my life. So whatever I do each month is I plan my month ahead using my calendar, and then I'll go ahead and track my expenses. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is my bill tracker. So my bill tracker has got all my take-home income, which is my TBM UK money, because I've got my own limited company, which is £2,400. I've got child benefit of £170, which I've written down for the change, which gives me a take-home pay of £2,570. So when I first set up my budget, I look at my fixed monthly expenses. These are things that are not going to change, and these are things that I need to calculate before anything else even thinks about coming out. So these are things like my share of the rent, my council tax share. I share a house with somebody else, so my bills aren't always completely just mine. They might be halved depending on how we've allocated them. But things like the gym and my car, those are my personal ones, those are my full expenses. My total expenditure at the moment is £1,154. So this month is slightly less because I've just cancelled Alexander's swim lessons, because I didn't want to be paying for them whilst I was away, and also I wanted to get comfortable with the new school year, so I didn't want to be tied into a commitment of getting somewhere and being somewhere at a certain point, because it takes Alexander, a little boy, a little bit of time to get back into a normal routine. So that means from all my money that I've got left over, £1,416. Now that is the money that I start to plan for before it even touches my bank account. I've already given that a purpose. I've given each penny and each pound a purpose, a goal. That's what the point of the zero-based budget is, that they all have a job to do. So initially for August, I gave myself a total of £1,100 for my fluid expenses. These are things that include groceries, petrol, eating out, my children's spending money, myself, miscellaneous, and family time. Those are what I call my fluid expenditure, the ones that are variable each month, the ones that I have a bit more control over, where I choose how much I spend on them or don't spend on them. Now, that isn't to say that everybody else is going to be exactly the same, because people have got different lifestyles. They might have pets that they take care of. They might have a bigger family. They might have no children. They might just be living independently by themselves. Maybe they've got a hobby that, takes up something else. But those are the ones that I know are familiar with me and what I know I'm going to need to spend on every single month. And I want to spend on every single month. So I planned where that money is going to go. It left over £300 for my ISAs, and there's another £16 anomaly, which I keep in the bank for various reasons, and one of which I'll tell you in a moment, because it's a good job I kept some money in the bank for this purpose. So once I'd set all my bank up for the month, I'd then break it down each week. Now, the reason I break it down each week is because it gives, again, it's all about that control. If I were to plan the whole month ahead the odds are something's going to happen, something's going to change, and suddenly I'm not as much as in control as I thought I was. So by the time I start a month out, something major might have happened at the end of the month. I decided to go on a holiday. If I planned my whole month ahead, then that whole budget concept at the end of the month would have been very much different, because I wouldn't have been able to move it around as much, wouldn't have had enough freedom. So I gave myself a budget. I gave myself more money for groceries because it was school holidays, so I knew the kids would be home more. And then I plan, every time I spend some money, it goes into what I actually spent. So for example, the first week of August, I had a budget of £100, but I spent £93.32. Petrol was £50, I spent £45.67. And those all get added together. And it's a way of making sure that I can see that I am still on track and I'm not overspending, or that I'm not giving myself too much money that I thought, maybe I need more for this, so I can keep controlling, rein that budget in however I see fit and however suits my lifestyle. At the end of each week, I'll total up how much I've actually spent and compare that to the budget. And that can sometimes influence what I'm doing depending on my calendar, what I've got planned in already, all those free activities that I try and do and try and fill the week up with. But knowing that I've got things that I do need to save for and I want to spend on as well. And then at the end of this particular month, I've just put on holiday, which meant that there was quite a bit left over in the pot. So this was a very different month for me. And I ended up with £410 left over because I knew I wasn't going to be spending on groceries in the same way, or petrol, or eating out and things like that. So £410, which I put towards my holiday. And then I've worked out for the whole month how much I have got left. And out of the budget, I've got £59.93 that I didn't spend. And that money is going to go towards my saving challenges, which I'll do in a different shorts video for us. So ultimately, overall for the whole month, I had a total budget of £1,100. I ended up actually only budgeting with £690 because the last sort of 3 and 4 weeks were not spending monies in the same way. I spent £630 and 7 pence, and my actual take home, my actual leftover, was £59.93, which I've got here to one side. There are other sections in the binder for debt paying off and savings breakdown. I'm not going to go over those at the moment. At the moment, I haven't got debt that I need to be considering and paying off. But if you want to look at previous videos, I'll show you how I did that and the process that talk and everything else. But for now, we're up to September. So I go ahead and plan out my monthly calendar. So it's go back, give myself the month ahead, give myself a couple of goals. I'm trying to up all my social media at the moment. I'm trying to get something out there every single day. So if you're not already over on Instagram and TikTok, I would love to see you over there. And I'm working really hard on those. And this month, we're launching our advent calendars. This month, I have got 3 advent calendars, which is a bit different to the last few years because I know these always sell out. So I'll be sharing a video with you later this week about those, launching those with a special offer as well for early birds, basically. And then I fill in my month ahead so I can see what I need to plan for. So for example, on the Friday, I'm meeting up with some girlfriends. I know I need to put some more money into my personal social envelope. So I've got enough money there. And I also know I've got a trip later on in the month to London. I know it's my mum's birthday. I know I've got another birthday event I'm going to. And those things all influence where my money is going to go. Regardless of how much I started with, I then need to make sure that I'm allocating enough to each section in order to achieve these things. And it's having that mindfulness, it's being aware from the beginning where you start. And then once I've got my calendar in, similar to the last month, I plan out my bill tracker. So the only thing I've said is changed is the swimming lessons. Now last month, I said earlier that I took it off. It's got off in September, cancelled it in August. So it shouldn't have come out, but they ended up taking it out for whatever reason. Fortunately, because I had the money in a bit, I'll keep a little bit in my bank for these kind of buffer things. So they took the money out. It's been refunded since, but the point was it's always useful to have a little bit of buffer in there. So this month I've gone ahead and planned my money for the month, and I've given myself a total of £1,030 for my fluid envelopes. So my monthly expenses comes to £1,098, leaving £1,472 left over. I'm allocating £300 to my ISA, £140 towards my Christmas planner, and I'm going to do a video on doing my ultimate Christmas planner set up because that needs to get a move on. There's a little space there for saving challenges. I won't know what that is until maybe the end of the month. And then my fluid expenses is £300 for groceries, £50 for petrol, £200 for eating out, £40 for eating children, £200 for me, £100 for miscellaneous, and £100 for family time. And that is based off of my experience of knowing where our money goes and how it normally gets spent and what I've got going on in my calendar. So my next job is to go ahead and count this. I'm quite excited. I've got some £50 notes, which I haven't had £50 notes for literally years. So I should have £1,030 here, which then will get put into my saving challenges binder. So So I have it £1,030 to go into my cash envelopes. So then the way I do that is it goes all into my A6 binder, which has got all my wallets in here, which I allocate. This is my monthly binder. So all of my monthly money goes in here. And then as I break it down for each week, so I've already planned for my next week ahead. I've not planned it, I've written it out for groceries, I haven't put it in yet. We'll do that together. Then that is going to go into my weekly binder, because this is the one that I can take out with me. This is the one that has got like little A7 in it, and if I'm just going out and I just need one envelope, I can just pull that out. It's so much easier in my bag, and I find it so much more useful. So next job is to plan out a month ahead. So I know for this first week, we're back to school. Alexander will be getting lunch there. I'm going out with girls on the first Friday. But other than that, he's got a birthday party on Saturday, but I've already got gifts in for that. He's got a few parties this month as well, but again, I always buy and stock up on presents when they're on like a bargain, so it's not too bad. But other than that, yeah, I've not got massive plans. So because it is the first week back and I ran down my fridge and freezer quite a bit, my groceries budget's going to be a bit higher, so I'm going to give myself 100 for that. Petrol, I don't actually need any petrol at the moment because I had 2 weeks where I wasn't using the car. I don't need any petrol going in either at the moment, which is unlike me. It's normally the first week of the month. Eating out, I haven't got any immediate plans for eating out. I want to kind of get into a routine and stay home, so I'm just going to put that at 0. Holly, I always give 40 straight off. Alex might use 20 at the end of this week. I need to pick him up some trainers. He's got some that'll last him for this week, but I know they're just on the edge of getting too tight, so I'll put that in there. Me, because I'm going out with the girls, I'm going to put 40 in there because we're getting food as well. Miscellaneous, I'll just put 20 there because I don't think we need anything, but there you go. And family time, no, everything that we're doing is going to be free, so I don't need to include anything there. So my first week, 180, 220 is what I need in that first week. So next job is to get it all into the envelope. There you go. That is my budget with my £2,570 take-home pay. And yeah, that's how we work and try and stick to a budget that is useful and can work for us by allocating every single penny before you've even had a chance to try and spend it. Let me know in the comments section below if you use the zero-based budget method or if you use another kind of method that works for you. Have yourself an amazing day, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.